Right, what's up, yins guys? I'm gonna do a video here about this thing I keep seeing on the TV news. That coach in that school or whatever. I'll just give you a link to the internet story. I'll give you like a link so you can read an article. I This is one of them things where I try to make a video without laughing. I mean, talking to the girlfriend about it. We're on the TV set and we're like this, you know what I mean? Because a coach, and that's my attitude too, right here. A coach, okay, some superintendent, just, yeah, the only useful job of a superintendent, you got to wonder if it's even a fucking useless job, but I don't think all superintendents are like that. There's ones that, were probably fair. I mean, not even giving this guy a fair chance to defend himself, really, seen on social media. And he's calling it like it is, calling people thugs because they're beating up some special needs kid. I mean, I've been in school. It hasn't changed back in days when I was in school. But the only difference between then and now is the fucking moron superintendent. I don't know what world he's living in, but that's not racist to call people thugs. I mean, you had back in the days like your movies with the old suits and hats, and it eventually led to people with. You see in the movie you had union thugs. You look that up. I don't want to give you the whole history of that shit. I heard of, and you always heard the word union thugs always on the political talk shows. White people are thugs too. I mean, that's not just a name. I mean, well, it's a name that some people pride themselves, for the gangster rap music, the albums and the CDs and the songs. And then, yeah, white people, I think in music we don't call each other thugs in our rebellious music, and there's different terms, but yeah, white people can call each other thugs too. For example, back when I was in school, there was certain people that bullied people in school, and they got away with all the shit, and the principal didn't do shit about it either. And then I had one ex-girlfriend's kids, surveillance on the bus. She told me, and they saw the kids, like when the new cameras they got nowadays on the bus harassing her kids, and principal looks at her and says, "Oh, there's no audio in that, but oh yeah, they're physically harassing her kids, and that's okay." But anyway, I saw the video on the news. I mean, guy with a kid with his back turned. Sometimes in school you get bullied different ways in numbers. The video I seen, the surveillance right there. Sometimes you can't even always call that thuggery. It's almost some kind of childish, malicious bullshit, which later will turn into thuggery. Maybe when they turn into their 20s, it starts getting to be really it goes into schools too. They're really beating up kids real bad and then extorting money from it. Depends what goes on. It depends on what school, what neighborhood you're in, but. Anyway, the surveillance video I'm seeing on the news, before I get off the subject and start talking all the other random shit about bullying and shit I read about. Yeah, the surveillance camera. I mean, this is like a wrestling drop kick or some shit. Like, with his back turned and he jumps, it's like some kind of jump kick, and then you see him laughing about it. I mean, if you want to say, it can be something other than thuggery, maybe like ridiculous, like a criminal mischief or harassment or some kind of thing. But yeah, there is both white and black people who can do thuggery in schools. And you know what thuggery really is. It don't matter if you're black or white, or you can have a bunch of people, both black and white, in groups bullying, terrorizing other kids. Like what thuggery really is sometimes it can be extortion of money, and maybe not so much like the drop kick thing that I saw on the surveillance camera on the news, but it's more like, pushing around and beating them up, shaking them down, like extorting money, or no, always extorting money. You're a nerd, you're this or that. you're special needs, so we can just push you around. And unlike being an adult where you can over something stupid punch somebody in the face or something, like because you're mad at an argument or something, it can be, you can get in trouble for aggravated assault. But back when I was at school, I remember juveniles can really beat people up, bloody their nose, and have them lose teeth, with bullying. Putting actual fights aside, who started the fight or claiming self-defense. Something about juveniles, they're committing borderline assaults or even literally aggravated assault. But yet, when you're a juvenile, it's totally they're getting a slap on the wrist and shit. And a lot of people want to change that. But yeah, you want to define thuggery too. I saw the president of the Future of Freedom Foundation in a YouTube video about, this is another subject that I ain't going to go into it. It's totally off the subject of the bullying thing. But even though the video was about some, it has something to do with thuggery in a way that this president of the Future Freedom Foundation, in a video, it's a Fox News clip, about a black woman using a gun and barricading herself in a house because she's refusing to let the police take her kid because she refused the school's order to put her kid on, mind-altering drugs like Ritalin or whatever because the school says they have a disorder, which I think you have a right to. I'd say fuck you to them too. Just because somebody's different way of loner or something, they'll try to, or they don't get along with the kids, put them on Adderall or whatever and all that crap. So the Future Freedom Foundation guy is saying shit like that, trying to get their kids on Adderall. They won't allow, and the police are trying to take the woman's daughter off of her, or so they can inject mind-altering drugs. And he says, quote, "The cops act effectively as thugs," and he was talking about in a video where they didn't even really have a judge's signature. They had something stamped on her. It wasn't official. So they acquitted the woman. They didn't prove that she even fired the gun. So she may have had a gun barricaded in herself in a house. And I mean, you're in dangerous territory that way, She's probably afraid, instead of having her day in court, to get the kid back, that once you get them into one of them places, whether it's an institution or whatever the hell. So there's different kind of thuggeries. Like, if the school, okay, my reason why I brought this in the argument is while I am on the subject, is the school, if the school recommends it, some schools that, you need some kind of, whether Ritalin or Adderall or something, the school tries to say you got some disorder and you're ordered, the school gets involved in orders. Maybe you have religious or conscientious objector kind of, what do you call it? Convictions. Yeah, convictions like I got or whatever. I'd say fuck you to these people too. And they're going to bring the cops in. So the school committing thuggery and then getting the cops to be the thuggery or whatever, And look at me when I was back in school. People will try to say this or that. Now, when you get old enough where the school psychiatrists and different people can't bother your parents when you're older, like I am now, I'm like, yeah, look what I'm turning into, teach people to get strong so they can walk around with a smirk on their face and a chip on their shoulder, and nobody tell you what to think, what to believe in, and all that crap. They would like to have had me on all that shit. I remember being back in school too. If you're not from weren't in that town all your life, you were new in school or poor or whatever the hell too, and you're not paying enough of taxes in the community. Say if your mother got divorced and you have a stepdad and you're barely making ends meet and maybe collecting partial welfare like your parents are as a kid or some kind of thing like that. And they see you're getting the free lunch things or whatever too, or tickets or whatever they do now as opposed to we did. You're the redheaded stepchild, the oddball. the whole administration of the school and some of the kids don't have to have no respect for you. You're just kick you when you're down or whatever, you know. But yeah, they don't have to really give a damn about you. Okay, this is another reference to Alex Jones, even though Alex Jones says some crazy shit. But Alex Jones and Dave Mustaine from metal band, one of my favorite metal bands, Megadeth, they were talking about being in school where you don't get no respect. That's on that clip is still up too. Dave Mustaine and Alex Jones talking about, you know, you're poorer in school and you don't got no respect or any kind of thing like that, or yeah, and when I end this video too, it's one thing I wanted to stress too. Some of the things that I brag that I support too. Certain people's rights where you want to stay away from that stuff. I want to stress that it's big business to put people on psychotropic drugs and recreational marijuana, and oh yeah, don't smoke it. Yeah, they're now young kids, and I'm seeing my age. Kids might be watching this video still in school, right? But oh, don't smoke marijuana, you'll get arrested. But now states, hypocrites, the states want revenue. They're in the red and debt, so smoke as much marijuana as you smoke. A lot of marijuana, and then it's big business because they want psychotropic drugs. There's I want to talk about psychotropic drugs. There's this thing called a website called An Industry of Death. And I found out later this CCHR, Citizens Commission on Human Rights, they're associated with Scientology, and I'm not very keen on Scientology. I'm trying not to stereotype it, but there is some stuff I saw on TV about Scientology too. But even though this is Scientology associated, there's a lot of websites like it. Their website, it's called Citizens Commission on Human Rights, and there's a website called An Industry of Death. These websites tell the truth, and somehow I gotten free DVDs that I signed up and got back in when they were still giving the DVDs for free, and you can still see the videos on YouTube. But I found out later they're associated with Scientology, but I didn't know because unless I missed it, I wasn't seeing that they were trying to push or endorse their Scientology. So I found out somehow, and I didn't know. Well, even some Christian groups, like if they have some kind of rights, things like that, they make sure they advertise their religion or their church. But this is some good stuff to examine and try to be impartial and not biased. Even though you can't stand certain religions and you question a lot of things, there is still a freedom of information. And know this, that it is big business too, especially if they can get your people that are in school, the problem kids in school, and get them on, get an order to put them on psychotropic drugs or depressed. But then this dovetails into the ads I regard as hypocrisy on MTV, Know the Truth ads. And they're saying that cigarettes, you know, if you have a psychological problem or emotional problem, having a cigarette, that they're, so to speak, egging people on to smoke cigarettes, to push cigarettes. Oh, know the truth. But yet, they're not saying anything about the hypocrisy now. Make marijuana legal, and hey, marijuana is pushed the same way. Not just, I believe in if it gets rid of, or not gets rid of pain for a while or masks chronic pain. I'm all for it if they're, extracting medicines out of them, then they're getting high, chemicals are taken out, I don't know. But then they're pushing a lot of people, it's legal recreationally. Why ain't they saying the Know the Truth stuff about that? Hey, whether it's legalized marijuana or legalized tobacco or alcohol, and this makes a lot of sense if your kid's still in high school, elementary school, and then eventually teenager or college, pushing marijuana. Now it's legal, people want revenues. Whether you're black or white, you're being profiled. The black people, the black music culture, even the heavy metal culture I was into. every single race of person that has some kind of problem with society or social problem. Oh yeah, push the marijuana on it. Ain't that profiling? But yet people choose to smoke. They want cigarettes and maybe they want a marijuana. Their choice too. But yeah, whether it's alcohol, marijuana, pills, anything that's pushed by something legitimized, or a peddler, a peddler or a big dealer want to be on the damn street. No matter what color they are, they come in all colors and lifestyles. People that up to it, whether it's legal drugs or illegal stuff. Hey, the celebrities with money that have problems, different things, and they go where the money is too. But then the people in your neighborhoods like that, the poor, whether you're black and poor or white and poor, yeah, you're being profiled. Whether they sell you marijuana, pills, beer, cigarettes. So yeah, now they know the truth. They're legalized marijuana coming up. It's competing with tobacco now. So now they're attacking just tobacco only. Yeah, if any of you guys that know me probably got far in this video, I made videos separately of that. But since it's on my mind, might as well yammer on about it. But this does dovetail in with Thuggery too, because you got this far in this video with me yammering about that and drugs being big business. Here's where it has to do with Thuggery too, whether it's white people Thuggery, black people Thuggery. Yeah, you could be in the school or even workplaces. I worked in industrial places. If they don't do it physical Thuggery, there's different other kinds of harassment to get under people's skin. That the people that you don't buy drugs from their relatives. Yeah, if you kids get this far in this video, whether you're laughing at me or making these faces, whether you're black or white, you're going to have a job somewhere, whether you go to college and get a job, or while you're in college, or you eventually, you end up working some kind of job somewhere. You'll be harassed in the workplace or different kind of ways under your skin, or people will try to do discreet body language Thuggery to make you feel fear, or the group intimidation and ridicule shit. That's a form of Thuggery, because you don't drink enough or smoke enough, or you don't buy drugs from their relatives that are being sold discreetly in the cars in the parking lots. A lot of your places discreetly, kind of like the place that I got fired from doing knuckle push-ups and stretches, because I got an argument with some dude in the bathroom over some stupid bullshit, and then getting fired. Then later on, nobody cared about me doing push-ups and stretches, and then all of a sudden I'm fired for it. It's a safety hazard. But in a bathroom over there, they think they're so righteous and moral. But in a bathroom every day on there, I told people to a certain effect, a smell reeked of that somebody smoking that rock in there. And then the people that work, most of the people that worked in this place, right, are from the neighboring state, Ohio, my neighboring state, which is Ohio. I'm in Pennsylvania. They're coming from this one city in Ohio, and I was seeing on my TV news that particular city in Ohio was very ripe with the heroin, and everything else. And you see a lot of people. Some are nice to you, and some of them are dicks and don't like you, or passive aggressive. And you see the physical symptoms on them, and that they use heroin. You can tell a lot of times certain things by looking at them, like the body, looking at their certain things about. It's a lot of stuff to get into. That you don't even have to see no needle marks or anything like that, but you can see different stuff about them. They got these arms that look like they're avoiding muscle development, even though they work with you. The whole different ways about them. But anyway, yeah, there was more of them working there from that city outside of my state, the city in Ohio outside of my state, which the new TV news happened to be talking about how they have the big heroin problem in there and everything else. And, so anyway, yeah, you're gonna get the different kinds of thuggery. Yeah, it's in the workplaces, it's in the college. It's not always physical, but yet there's a body language that if you say something, it's an innuendo of something physical, which usually they're bluffing, and usually they're doing another type of psychological thuggery, intimidation thing. You know what I mean? But their thuggery usually is ganging up socially, like psychologically, gathering the mob to ridicule, which they act like same way as a bunch of fucking school kids do. It was this physical bullying and thuggery. They gather all different. Look what we can do. We can turn everybody against you and say whatever we want about you. And if we wanted one of our people physically got in a fight with you and beat you up, or a couple of our guys, since we got all these friends, witnesses, we can do what we want to get away with and say this or that. And if you win the fight, they can be witnesses and say that you started it. And you can go on and on about that. And it also dovetails into YouTube videos about what they call gang stalking, and I studied that frequently too. There's different forms. It's a type of thuggery, and they call it gang stalking. It was a big trend to talk about it on YouTube. There's still videos about it, and yeah, the place I worked at again too, that I wasn't working at anymore, committed this type of gang stalking in a way. It's gang stalking, or behind the back, or you can call it even backstab in different ways, via smartphone and social media on Facebook. So the things that they were bitching about me that they didn't like, okay, it was found out that they're gossiping each other via Facebook, and other people were showing, friends of mine were showing me. I hear about it every single time. So it wasn't a surprise that at the same time they were saying anybody even caught with a smartphone during working hours or on the property period using it will get fired. And then there was little things that people were saying too. I got to at least have my phone. I got to call my kids, which I agree with that. But so, things that they try to do to get people fired, and they're using social media. When they use social media, like too, in the colleges carrying a phone, but if you're in high school right now or something, they're going to crack down on using those phones, like in school, or whatever high school you might be in. But so people do be pulling that shit, and nowadays and using smartphones and everything else. But in doing so, the place you're working for, if that thuggery going on, they go and okay, this is how you know it, because it gets all around. It gets the people. It doesn't become a secret. It doesn't become a secret. So they say, okay, we're gonna take away the phones on Facebook. We let you do it before, but you know what? This may be the root of the problems and making stuff escalate more and causing conflicts. And